ニクソン大統領弾劾を呼びかけるポスターの山。グッドナウさんは奥さんと2人だけで大統領弾劾に向けて100万人の署名を集める決心をしました。彼は共和党の政策に賛成し、事件まではニクソン大統領を支持してきました。しかしひとたび自分の選んだ大統領が解任に値する行為をした以上、それをやめさせるのも自分の責任とばかり、サラリーマン生活ともぷっつり縁を切りました。運動資金といえばわずかばかりの蓄えとポスターを配って得る代金のみ。しかも大統領弾劾は議会の権限であり、集めた署名に法的な力は何もありません。その限界を承知の上での決意なのです。
Standing here today outside the Lincoln Memorial, and it's shocking that you can't even hold a flag, a pink flag saying "Don't buy Bush's war." You can't even have that
anywhere on the plaza or anywhere inside the memorial.
I believe there was this book called the what was it, Constitution. There's this First Amendment.
An elderly tourist began to wonder as to why the police were stopping the code pink women. So the park rangers then quickly shuttled him away.
I could arrest you. It's just like somebody who's driving. It's just like driving without a driver's license in D.C. You know it's illegal, so arrest you.
I said, "What about freedom of speech?" And one guy said, "What about freedom to enjoy the monument?" You know, freedom of assembly, I believe, is in the First Amendment. Do you feel like your civil liberties have been violated at all?
Quite. As often is the case these days. I do. And I know the rhetoric, these gentlemen are just doing their job, etc. But I do always feel like my First Amendment is violated in this city.
And so what are they doing? They're driving around on motorcycles and intimidating women, you know. You don't look like a threat to me, you know. I mean, you know, you're old enough to be my mom, and I doubt you're going to break something, and I doubt you're a terrorist, and like, you know, you're wearing pink.
We need the benefit of the doubt.
This is absurd, you know.
The big danger is the truth.
Now if I bet if we came up here with a sign that said "Support our troops," and, you know, victory or whatever, surge to victory.
Would they allow it? Should they try?
I think they would allow that.
Rangers said as long as there's not 25 of us, we can stand here.
People want to enjoy this though, because of Abraham Lincoln.
I'm really surprised at people's responses, that they're so anti.
Just over the Potomac here is many buildings. Corporations that make their money off the suffering and the killing of innocent people in third world countries. These are the people who make their money off war in the military-industrial complex.
Well, back here. You know what? Stand out. Are you on the 7th floor?
Dropped this like 40 right from the soft.
Yeah, a duffel bag of zip ties. You see what we... It's a bag of what, Jeff?
Zip ties. See?
Zip locks, yeah.
Go sing probably. That's what they do. They sing. That's what the pink ladies do. They sing.
Talking about singing, I tell them they can't.
chance to get busted in a proposition.
Hey, Coach!
I was 40 years younger and I asked the upper draft case.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
This is known as the surge! All you people in your cars, this is a true surge!
On my way into the Cannon House office building, I ran into former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. Many people consider her to be a war criminal, and honestly, I didn't even know what to ask her about in that situation, so I took it as nothing more than an opportunity to take a photo. I then went into the building where I ran into the musical rock group Drowning Pool.
Stevie from Radical, here to present a petition that everyone signed. This is for the soldiers.org. It's to pass the Land Emmons bill. Hopefully get that done, get some health care for troops when they come home.
This is author Robert Novak, and he should best be known for two things. First, exposing a CIA spy in order to help Dick Cheney in his pursuit of invading Iraq. Second is this debate with musician Frank Zappa.
The biggest threat to America today is not communism. It's moving America toward a fascist theocracy. And everything that's happened during the Reagan administration is steering us right down that pipe.
Oh, Mr. Zappa,
Zappa.
Do you really think? I mean, all kidding aside, in this country, with the permissiveness that we are moving toward a fascist theocracy, anything goes.
We are, but
do you think things like this would have ever been permitted?
Smile again.
When we were 20, when we were kids, you're about my age, maybe a little younger.
45.
Well, I'm 55. Do you think when I was a kid that they would permit songs like that to be sold? I mean, permissiveness is the game. I mean, you're not really serious if you're saying we're going toward a fascist theocracy.
That's right, we are.
Wait a minute. In what way? Give me one example.
Wait. One example of a fascist theocracy.
When you have a government that prefers a certain moral code derived from a certain religion, and that moral code turns into legislation to suit one certain religious point of view, and if that code happens to be very, very right-wing, almost toward Attila the Hun...
Well, then you are an anarchist. Every form of civil government is based on some kind of morality, Frank.
Morality in terms of behavior, not in terms of theology.
Well, of course.
I found out that Robert Novak was having a book signing in Washington, D.C., and so I used it as an opportunity to question him about exposing Valerie Plame.
So I'm sitting here outside Trover Books in Washington, D.C., waiting for Robert Novak to come to his book signing.
Thank you for doing this. You have a cup of coffee, black, regular. Who are you with? Oh, how are you? Good to see you.
Fiscally responsible social dress.
How you doing? You keep me out of trouble now, I see.
I think so. I'm getting the job done. How about you?
My business, your business to stay out of trouble, mine is to kick
Turn it over. How's your business? It's good.
For an old guy. So you enjoying Congress?
I love it. I think it's
good for you.
Good.
Good luck to you. Thank you.
Have a good one. I'm his communications director.
Oh, hi.
It's Curtis Ellis.
You can buy a book, Congressman.
You can give him one if it's under $50.
It's under. You can buy one. Congressman don't like to buy anything right now.
Well, let's see. The principal is small for my age, but it's good to see you.
So I was just wondering if you'd like to apologize to Valerie Plame and Joseph Wilson.
That's what I came here for.
That's enough.
But,
that's enough.
So that's a no?
That's enough.
That's a no?
All right. That's enough.
Freedom of the press does allow me to ask questions like that.
And he's giving you his answer.
And his answer is, well, you actually didn't answer my question, am I?
That's the answer you're going to get.
Is the answer no?
The answer you're going to get.
Why are you twitching so much? So you don't want to apologize? Because you did commit treason, and you should be in jail for committing treason.
That's it.
You did commit treason. You should be in jail for committing treason.
Excuse me. This gentleman's harassing Mr. Novak.
I was just asking him a couple questions that he doesn't want to answer. Because he did commit treason.
I won't get in the way of your picture.
Oh, no problem. All right.
Really nice.
He seemed pretty humble. I just don't know what exactly the whole. I don't know the inner workings of what they go down with Valerie, so I didn't want to sort of come on heavy with him on that. But I tried to encourage him to come from within to do a more honorable job. He and his colleagues than we're now seeing in mainstream press. I told him we should have the Washington Post like we did in the days of Woodward and Bernstein, and not one that is going belly up on the real interests of the people as they too have caved into the military-industrial complex, sadly to say.
I went to a FISA domestic surveillance hearing, and on my way there I noticed a group of veterans for what I later would discover was a pro-Bush, pro-Iraq war rally. I went to the FISA hearing where many people engaged in civil disobedience.
I'll run it through Google Translator.
Do you feel safer, America, because you're being eavesdropped on?
They wouldn't let you what?
I had this. Where is this right now? I have them like this, and then let me keep my sunglasses
on. Haunted house at Disney World. No, it's just like this. It's got these spooky pictures in the walls right now.
We're targeting foreign intelligence targets. The analysts have.
Used to be America.
Rock on. This occupation's gotta go. Hey, hey! This occupation's gotta go.
This is your only warning. Any more disturbance, I'm going to start placing you on the rest. No, I want to hear this.
We're going to lunch. We're going to lunch. We're going to lunch.
Go lunch.
Are we allowed to go to lunch?
We left the domestic surveillance hearing and went across the street to the park where a pro-Bush rally was being held.
So Liz, tell us what we're doing.
Well, tonight we're going to pick up 3 of our very dedicated peace activists that were arrested this afternoon for civil disobedience, and we're picking them up at the jail block. This is it right here.
The event was called Families United for Troops and Their Mission. Iraq Marine veteran Adam Kokesh was there attempting to make meaningful conversation with the attendees of the event. And to the side of the park were less than 36 activists who were all threatened with arrest just for simply shouting.
You are commies, stinking commies, all of you. I saw you. I am from the former Soviet Union, and I know what are commies.
You're calling us communists and you're from Russia?
You are yes, I am from Russia, and I'll call you communists.
Always following this guy, follows us around everywhere.
Need more healthcare, not more warfare.
Inside the lion's den. Jim is deep inside the lion's den right now.
If you interfere with the event over here, you will be arrested.
They're telling us to be quiet now. They're saying we're disturbing the event. But when we had our event, the pro-war people were spitting on us. They were throwing stuff at us. They were destroying our protesters' property. They were pushing people. I mean, and the cops are there to protect those people who have done more to us than us standing here shouting about something.
Senator Lieberman, how many more Iraqis have to die? How many more Iraqis have to die, Senator Lieberman? How many more Iraqis have to die? Senator, how many more Iraqis have to die? How many more servicemen have to die?
And we got another great one, Senator Joe Lieberman.
I attempted to silently film the event up close, but a woman with a large piece of paper kept jumping in front of the sight of my camera, and when I turned around there was a Capitol police officer telling me that if I didn't move out of the area immediately, I would be arrested. Adam Kokesh tested the limits while at the event. He was constantly told that he couldn't be anywhere near the actual rally and that he couldn't even be standing silently to the side, that he had to be in motion at all times or he could be arrested for being too close.
So what do you think of the 650,000 Iraqis that have been slaughtered? What do you think of the 650,000 Iraqis that have been slaughtered? No? No opinion?
Senator John McCain.
It'll be your third final warning.
Third warning. We were given a third warning.
Stop it. About 6 months ago, and it's working.
No!
What is she doing?
It doesn't look very humane.
Why don't you break her arm like you did mine?
I'm a 20-year veteran of practicing my First Amendment right to free speech. This is a test. This is incredible. I live in a police state where people are not allowed to speak. My voice is not amplified. I do not need a permit to shout. This is incredible to me. I am beside myself with incredulity. This is amazing. And now if I resist, I'll get another charge of resisting arrest. This is absurd. This is absolutely an outrage. I cannot believe what country I live in. It's finally free to speak your mind. I took an oath to uphold the Constitution when I
Stand the sidewalk for me, sir. You can either walk across the street or please get out of the street for me. Thank you kindly. We'll stand here, just don't block the crosswalk. Please, thank you kindly.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I was concentrating on that, not hearing you.
All right.
I'm a president of Veterans for Peace, Chapter 132 in Corvallis, Oregon.
All
I'm a
right.
veteran of 20 years in the United States Navy, retired as a commander myself. Came here to
What the fuck was she charged with?
What
the fuck was she charged with, officer? What was she charged with? You have to inform her under Amendment 6 of the Constitution. What is the nature and cause of the accusations in which she is facing? Why did 7 of my comrades have to die for your bullshit? Huh? Why did 7 of my comrades have to die for your fucking bullshit? Asshole!
You need $1? Need $1?
And get us out of Iraq! Live your comfortable life, my friend! Stay comfortable!
How about you piss off, brown shirt piece of shit?
I am not trying to get arrested today.
I just came to the scene. Why not use reporter? What's going on here?
Well, there was a rally. We were here peacefully, relegated to the side of the show here, and suddenly I see people being dragged out.
I think this is the definition of a police state when we get arrested for reading our Constitution. You gentlemen have anything to say about that? Wouldn't you gentlemen prefer to honor your oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign or domestic?
So many more Iraqis have to die.
Mr. Boyd, sir, people are getting arrested for reading the First Amendment, sir.
Are you the...
Get us out of the way!
They were on high alert. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't drag more of us out there because we were yelling and, McCain was there, so I was screaming on the top of my lungs. Quite honestly, I am surprised they didn't drag more of us out of there, and they were ready. But, they're just getting out of hand.
They're arresting me for reading the Constitution, the First Amendment I was reading. The right of free speech and free assembly. They arrested me for reading the Constitution.
You got arrested while reading the First Amendment.
Yep.
There's something kind of ironic
I
about
got arrested. Well, see, I was wearing a pink hat. If I had been wearing a red shirt, I would have never been put in the spot with the code pink. I was standing on the other side.
So stay in the left and just go left. Or,
But they made me move.
This is a good lane.
Because I was wearing a pink hat.
Because you'll be making
when I
right
moved, I guess that made it unlawful assembly.
Yeah, it is.
How dare you go where the police told you to go?
Arresting people for reading the Constitution as we speak. And they won't let them know. Is there any charges?
What happened to you, Chris? What were you doing?
I was waving a copy of the Constitution. And I was grabbed by cops on both sides, and I said, "What are the charges?"
Wait, you weren't
I
even.
have the Constitution in
You
my
weren't
hand,
even.
too.
You weren't even talking. You were just waving it.
Well, she was whispering.
Yes.
She was just saying. I was whispering, Joe Lieberman is the Antichrist.
What is the nature and cause of her?
What is she being arrested for?
I'm just saving my shoes.
The Sixth Amendment of the Constitution.
Why is he arrested? They won't tell me why they're arresting me.
They won't tell you why you're being arrested?
Tell me what's going on, ma'am.
By the side of the sidewalk, I was not invading their What's the charges, please? There are no charges. I'm asking officers, what are the charges,
Officer
please?
Smith and Officer
I was
Amy
peacefully on the sidewalk.
McDaniel.
Take pictures! Take pictures! Take pictures! And before I knew it, a couple of cops grabbed me and slapped me in some plastic handcuffs. And I asked them, "What are the charges, sir? What are the charges?" No one would answer. They just hauled me off to their car, put me in the car, and took me away. And it wasn't until about 3 hours later that I found out that the charges were unlawful assembly. And we spent a few interesting hours in jail. Then they took us over to a different lockup because the regular fingerprint scanner was down, so we had to go over to the other place to get scanned. And they put us in the stainless steel lockup cages for about 2 hours there. And when we finally came out to get into the van to go back to the first police station, I bumped my head getting into the van and fell backwards. One of the police officers caught me, and they didn't have any ice in the police station to put on my head, so I finally got home, and here I am with my ice bag on my head.
Welcome back.
It's great to be here.
Today we're on our way using the public transport, the bus on H to Blackwater's, one of Blackwater buildings, to ask for Blackwater to be an expulsion of Blackwater from Iraq. There were 8 civilians killed a few days ago, and the Iraqi parliamentarians have asked that Blackwater's contracts be reneged and declined. So we're going there to put a little pressure on Blackwater, and then we're going to be marching to the State Department. Some of us
is the beginning of the conversation. If the Iraqi government says Blackwater should leave, do you agree they should leave?
That's really up to that's the decision between the U.S. government, which uses Blackwater as their contractor, and the Iraqi government. Now, currently
But the
under
Iraqis have...
under Order 17, essentially, what before the handover, Order 17 was, that said that the contractors will be under U.S. law, and that became Iraqi law. Now, the Iraqi parliament has a right to change that law, and if that happened, then all
But
bets
they
are
have
off.
the right at this time to kick out anyone they like.
It depends. I don't know what they'd have to go through some sort of due process. I don't know what that would be, to be honest.
So you don't take a position on this?
No, not
But
really.
you believe that
We're not a
if-
political organization.
But do you believe that governments are sovereign and that they should,
We work for governments. That's a good thing.
So you think the Iraqi government is a sovereign state?
The Iraqi government has to work it out with the U.S. government, and then once they make a decision, then we'll do whatever they tell us to do. That's how it works.
Is Iraq a sovereign nation?
I'm a representative trade association. You guys are making that decision.
On the sand will proudly stand the hour that the ship comes in, and the words they use for to get the ship confused will not be understood as they're spoken, for the chains of the sea will have busted in the night and be buried at the bottom